Today we are fortunate enough to go back and see footage of Alex Pereira in kickboxing as an amateur in 2013. Why is this so important to go back and see? Well, the main thing for me is when I watch this, I go, this is not the dude which we know and recognize now. His skill set is nowhere near as good. Now, what should that do for us? Many times we see people and we put them up on this pedestal and we go, oh, they're so good. Like, I can never be that good. And it can play tricks with our mind, I think, on the fact that yes, many people do have these growing stages and not everybody is like Mike Tyson when you saw him at 16 in the ring. We were going, holy smokes, he's a killer. We see Alex Pereira here 1 year before he started in Glory. Probably about 5 years later in Glory, he was the champion, but he does not look like the same fighter. And while he's still very good, not on the same level. I would watch this and go, this guy's a good amateur fighter, but not a great one. So the progression that can happen even later in somebody's career is amazing. So let's jump right into this, and hopefully for those guys out there who are like, yeah, you know what, I'm a 20-year-old or a 25-year-old, but I'm not as good as I want to be. I'm not like a superstar skill level yet. Well, guess what? You got loads of time. Loads of time. So here we go. Let's jump into this. Apparently he loses this fight, but we just have a minute and a half to watch. So he has a very different guard. Very high. Much leaner than he used to be. Shin pads and headgear don't work well for him because he's obviously somebody who thrives off catching his opponent. Big gloves. None of that works well for him. The big thing that I'm noting right away when I watch him is, yes, this hand style is very different than what we see now, whereas he has his hands here and he's so focused now on small head movements to minimize damage, whereas in this, those hands are up, he's going to be trying to block, and it changes styles dramatically where you hold your hands. And if you're ever questioning, well, this fight style or this fight style or this whatever is not working for you, your guard is not working for you, keep in mind you can experiment, you can adjust, because this just doesn't look like it works as well for him. Let's get back into it. And look at that jab to the low kick. He's just looking a little, I mean, this guy won. This guy's good. This guy that he's fighting is good. But we can see he's just not who he was. And also, let's just pause here in a second. Good body shots. Good chop, chop. Also, we have to remember that different gloves suit people differently. What do I mean by that? Well, somebody like Pereira, who now can minimize the amount of damage he takes when he fights, doesn't get hit too much, usually. Somebody who has incredible power, you don't want to put him in with gloves where people can tappity tap, 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 tap you, right, outpoint you, and you also don't want to put on gloves that do not allow you to hurt people in the same way. For instance, my brother years ago, he hit so hard and I went, man, if we put you in MMA, you're going to sleep people by just touching them, because the gloves he was fighting in boxing were like these. They were these big, thick things, and he wasn't getting knockdowns in fights, but it's because the gloves are so protective. So figuring out what fight sport suits your power and your speed and all that is something worth thinking about. Let's jump back into it. Good slip there and a body shot from Pereira though. That was very nice. You just notice his size as well. So much lankier than he is now. Probably same day weigh-ins for this. Just fighting more like a classic kickboxer here. And one of the rules of thumb that I have when I'm teaching people is we do not need to be taught the same way. We do not all need to embody the same techniques. We don't have to have the same guard. This is what I try to remind myself as an instructor, so I'm not teaching everybody the exact same way when I know that some people are just outside the ordinary and they thrive with a different style. So his style now looks so odd. The way he kicks is so odd. So many things he do would for most people be so wrong, but now we see him back here when he was younger doing things quite correct. Everything looks pretty good, but it didn't work for him the same way. Interesting. Back into it, let's finish this round off. Nice knee into the cross there. Getting tagged and getting a little bit hurt, but still ferocious. He always had that fight in him, it looks, right? And I could be wrong, but I think he might have started martial arts a little bit later as well. And I think many people have this impression that to be a high-level martial artist, you need to start when you're 5 or 6 or 7. If you start as a teenager or somebody in their early 20s, you're far too late. No, right? I don't know if that's exactly the case for Pereira, but something in my mind is saying, yes, he started quite late, and look at the success he's had. So don't get down on yourself if you're going, okay, yeah, I'm 22 years old, and I've only been training for a couple of years, and I haven't even had my first fight, but I want to be a UFC champion. You can make it happen. It just takes a lot of dedication. That's pretty much it. So that's all I wanted to share with you, that footage, just because I watched it. I went, this is intriguing, and I want to share it with everybody on my channel who takes the time to subscribe, who likes the videos, and who's here watching. I appreciate everybody. I'll see you guys back here soon.